Hey, how you doing? Steve Noble Moto here. We're got our 22 Lowrider ST up on the lift, and today we're going to do an oil change. We're going to do this oil change with the Amsoil oil change kit. Mark Young of Clovis Lubricants reached out and he wanted me to try out some Amsoil products. So we're going to try it out. Amsoil has been in business forever. They're like the OGs of the industry. I think they were even the ones that came up with synthetic lubricants. So you know their stuff's probably pretty awesome. But the really cool thing is you get like a complete kit with them. So there's no debates of whether or not you got the right stuff. You get 5 quarts of 2050 oil. You get a disposable filter, which is great because if you're like me, you probably can't find your old filter. And then when you do find it, it's full of cobwebs and debris. That sucks. You get rubber gloves if you don't like getting oil on your hands. No judgment. Maybe a little. And you also get an Amsoil oil filter that's designed for your bike. It's the right microns, the right flow, and all that jazz. And most importantly, with the Amsoil oil filter, you get a new O-ring for your drain plug. Hooray, hooray! Why is that not the industry standard? No one else thought very far ahead. Luckily, Amsoil did. In addition to this 5 quarts of engine oil, because the 117 takes 5 quarts, you also get a sticker. You can do this task. I believe in you. So from here, let's move underneath the bike for a closer look. The first step of the oil change process is going to be to remove the drain plug. Have your 5/8 ratchet set to lefty-loosey, and just break that free. Now what we're going to do is we're going to back this out almost all the way. Then we're going to get our drain pan in place. And pull the drain plug out, and out comes the oil. Now if it comes out slow, the easiest thing you can do is open your fill cap. I'll let some air flow through there, and it should drain out faster. So here I have the drain plug up on the bench. You can see right here there is some kind of mesh or dirt and crud and stuff around this. Let me get my pointer. Around this centerpiece. That centerpiece there is a magnet. You can see I can kind of scoop it up off of there. So that is collecting up any metal shavings that have happened inside the engine. There's not a whole lot. There shouldn't be a whole lot. If it's a wee little fuzzy, don't worry about it. If it looks like growing mold spores, you might want to be a little more concerned. Now that that's off of there, now we can take our old O-ring off. You should be able to get underneath this with a small flathead screwdriver or pick or something and flick that up off of there. While you're here, clean the crud out of your drain plug threads. There might be some thread sealant or something like that in there, metal shavings, crud, road grime, all kinds of nastiness. We'll get that out of there. And once that is good and clean, we can then take our Amsoil oil filter kit here, or oil filter packaging. Then we can roll the O-ring down over the drain plug, just like so. Roll it all the way down until it sits in that little groove, and now your drain plug is ready for reinstallation. Now we can reinstall our drain plug. And just thread that in there. Should take a very light touch to thread that in there, just fingertips. If you have to force it, something's wrong. Take it off and check it out. And once it's up in there, you can tighten it up and torque it to spec. To remove your oil filter, there's an assortment of oil filter grabbing tools, and any one of those will work. Or, if you've got a strong grip, you can just reach in there, and grab with your hand, and lefty-loosey it off of there. You might get some oil draining out of there. That's okay. It won't go too far. I have the catch pan underneath the engine, so anything that drains off of there will just run down the front of the engine case into the catch pan. Now we've got our Amsoil new filter here. In case you're wondering, for the 22 Lowrider ST with the 117, the Amsoil oil filter number is EAOM134. We can open up the box there and take our oil filter out. There it is, our new oil filter. Clean, right to the point, nothing fantastic about it. Just nice, black, sleek oil filter. So a lot of times the question comes up of how tight do I make my oil filter? On either the side of your oil filter or on the side of the packaging, it will have instructions. Those instructions are going to look something like this. What they're telling you is, put some oil in there, which only works if the oil filter is vertical. You want to put some oil on the seal here. So we're going to take some new clean oil and we're going to put it on that seal. And that's going to help keep that seal from baking to the engine case. Then it will be easier to come free next time and it won't leave any residual oil seal or rubber or anything on there. And the surface will be nice and clean for the next oil filter. And it'll come off a lot easier. And then the last thing on here, when they tell you to tighten it up, you'll see a little sign there that says like +3/4 or +1, depending on the oil filter. What they're saying is, from the point this seal makes contact with the engine case, you're going to turn it, in this case, 3/4 more of a turn. And that will be your proper torque. So we've got some clean oil off screen here. So we're going to take some clean oil there. Put up on the seal. Then we're going to stick our oil filter in there. Be careful not to cross thread it. And spin it on there. Now, it's hard to see down in there to know when the seal actually makes contact, but with a really light touch, you'll feel that initial drag of when the seal begins to rub against the engine case. So from there, we can go, I'm using the writing for reference, we can go 3/4 of a turn more. That's all you need to do. That's the proper torque spec for your oil filter. You don't need to crank the snot out of the thing. Just make sure it's tight enough that it doesn't come off. Next, you can fill up your engine oil. Now the service manual will tell you to put 4 quarts in this bike, then start it up, let it run for a few seconds, turn it off and check it, which is factual. However, I'm quite a couple oil changes into this bike, so I know it takes 5 quarts. And from there, reinstall your dipstick, start your bike up, let it run for 30 seconds or so, turn it back off, check your oil, and if everything's at the appropriate level, you're ready to go ride. That's all I have for you today. If you want to get any Amsoil products, go to Clovis Lubricants. There's a link in the bio.